Hey everyone, welcome to the PartsEdge Podcast. I'm at the NCM Fuel the Future Fixed Op Summit with Sammy. Welcome, Sammy.
Hi.
I just met her. I pulled her out of the room to talk. I want to scoot you over this way. It's opposite. Okay.
This way.
It's like I'm here, but I'm over there in the it's so funny. Okay, so tell us your role and what brought you to this event, because it's hard to leave the store.
It is really difficult to leave the store. I'm fortunate that I have such a good support system there. I have two service managers, two shop foremen.
Oh, wow.
So we have a really big team of people who can fill in. I am the service director at Tamiami Hyundai and Genesis in Naples, Florida. I actually came across this event in a service manager group that I'm in on Facebook.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
someone had posted about it. And so I'm reading the comments from everybody, and I'm seeing all these fixed operations directors and things saying, oh, I went to a NCM service training 20 years ago. It was one of the most beneficial things I ever did for my career. So I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to go.
That's amazing. And then your dealership supported you in leaving, and you have a great team. You
Yes.
guys must be fairly large, having two shop foremans. Like,
Yes.
how many?
So we're a dual Hyundai and Genesis store right now. We have a standalone Genesis facility under construction. It won't be completed until about March next year.
Oh, wow.
So we've got 28 technicians, 10 service advisors,
Wow.
big detail department. So it's really, it's a pretty big operation we got going on.
And how did you get into it? Like, have you been at the dealership a while? Like, what brought you into auto?
So I've been at the dealership for 3 years. My dad actually got me into automotive when I was a kid. He
No
was
way.
a tech for a Chevy dealership in Wisconsin, and he used to call me in sick to school so that I could come to the store with him and be the
Aw.
parts runner and steal
That's so-
candy out of his toolbox and stuff. And so it was always a good time. And then about 10 years ago, a friend of mine was working at a Nissan dealership and kind of dragged me into it. She said, hey, they're opening this full-scale rental department with like 180 cars. I think you'd be perfect for it. And that's kind of just how I got my foot in the door. And I had this fixed operations director who just could see that I continually wanted to grow. I got bored really easily and I needed to shift things up. So he'd be like, I want you to sit down in this corner. You're going to take all these tests. Don't ask me any questions until you're done. And just kept growing from there.
Kept growing. I think I've talked to so many fixed ops directors and leaders in the industry, and I feel like that's like the number one thing they share is like they don't like when they get bored, they just keep on going and learning more and doing more, and you just keep growing. So I love that. And then so now you're the service director, and so tell me about that with all the technology. Like, how do you manage where to focus? Because I feel like coming to these events like this, it really kind of lays it out. Like, these are all the problems. These are the stats. We're still here, guys. What are we doing to change? So like, how do you focus, or what are you doing to like?
So
make
it's
change?
really, how do we eat elephants, right? It's one bite at a time. We cannot fix everything overnight. We cannot fix everything in a day. So what's beneficial for me coming to things like this is listening to the presentations and the speeches and resonating or not resonating with whatever presenter is up there. Like, okay, yes, that is absolutely something we struggle about. Okay, we've met about this 15 times. What's a different way that I can navigate attacking this problem? And so I sit down with the service managers. We try to get together just to have one-on-one meetings like twice a month and say, okay, here's our focus for the next couple of weeks. This is what we're really going to drill into, whether it be advisor performance or phones or turnaround time or whatever it is. And so we really try to make sure that we're engaged physically with the staff, whether it's actually hanging out on the service drive and not disappearing, or one of the service managers going and spending the entire day in the shop with the technicians.
Yes, that's important.
The other day, I felt like oil changes were taking way too long. We're getting this really extended wait time for oil changes. So I took my Surface Pro and my keyboard and I went and I set up shop in the shop.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we're at, 35, 45 minutes for an oil change and rotate. So sometimes it's just kind of
being
adding
there.
that element of
Yeah.
surprise to get people to realize that there's a lot of wasted time when we're just stepping to the side and having conversations, right? It doesn't seem much if I come have a 2-minute conversation with you in the middle of the workday while there's a car in my bay. But then I talk to the next guy for 2 minutes, and then I talk to the next guy for 2 minutes. And all of a sudden, without even realizing it, I've now stolen 15 minutes from this person who is waiting in the waiting area because of these sidebar conversations. So really just trying to keep everybody focused,
Yeah. I would imagine, because like I know, like coming from the restaurant industry, it's like you don't really have time to have those in conversations because like people are right there. Whereas like, even though you don't have time in the dealership, you kind of, there's those like dead spots where you just like, the customer's not right in front of you, they're waiting. So it's like, I don't know, that's hard
Out
to
of,
manage.
out of sight, out of mind,
mind.
kind of. Yeah.
And it sounds like what you guys are doing too. When I asked the question of like, where do you start? Where do you focus? I think it's really just like laying out all those goals, and then you have to like set out those like steps to get to that goal. And once you get those, then you tack the next one, because you can't do it all at once. You have to just like focus on one at a time.
100%. I also try to keep an eye on what the trends are with the customer interactions that I have, because usually something doesn't make it to management until it's a problem. So really listening to the customer feedback and making sure that it is a voice phone call. I'm not texting or emailing. I really want to have a conversation with them about their entire experience. And I can pick up trends that way. Like, okay, here's where we are collectively falling short. Or, okay, the last 4 phone calls I got, they were all about the same advisor. Or where's this coaching opportunity here?
Yeah.
So the customer's voice is probably one of the most important things in actually figuring out where to start.
You're so right. Because there were several interviews I actually I think True Video started from, he called his customers to get feedback on like where, and they were all happy, they were doing great, but he's like, the trust wasn't there. So he's like, I want to solve, I don't like that, I want to solve it. And that's really what you're doing too, is going to the customer. I think any good business really has to do that, right?
Absolutely.
Like,
it really
it's your
doesn't matter what
customer.
industry you're in.
Yeah.
Like you said, you were in restaurants, right? I was in restaurants for a long, long time. Probably my favorite job in the entire world is being a waitress. I just love it.
I do too.
I think
I
about
serve sometimes still.
5 years ago, I got a job at a barbecue joint just because I missed it. And so
Yeah.
it was something to do a couple nights a week because it's fun for me,
is
you know,
fun,
and it helps you brush up on your customer service skills
really
for sure.
does. It does. Well, food. So I served at a brewery, so that was a lot more fun. People are a lot happier when it comes to beer. They don't get as mad about like their food being wrong. And then the restaurant. I always say restaurant, but I actually worked at a Subway, so it was not quite serving tables.
It's the same thing. Tell her it's the same thing.
It's the same thing because people get really mad about their sandwiches. I learned a lot. That was like the foundation for me. I'm like forever grateful for like doing that. I think any kid like in high school should have that type of job.
Absolutely. I think it's important.
Yeah.
I think honestly with the generation, say I look at my kids and things like that, the technology and the cell phones and stuff like that, it's minimized the human interaction so much, the face-to-face conversation, that we really encourage our kids to like get out there and go have difficult conversations. Like my husband, for example, has a detail business, and we were doing this car and bike show a couple weeks ago. So we made the kids come with, and we gave them flyers and business cards and stuff. Like, go talk to people, go have a conversation. And the first couple times they're super nervous, but then when they come back after they've actually had a conversation with somebody who
it's energizing.
You know, you feel like you accomplished something.
Yeah. And we are losing that art of that with like the technology, and it's up to us to really kind of keep that intact for our kids and encourage them to talk. My daughter always said she wants to do what I do. She's like, I don't know what you do, but I want to do it, because she's 6. She's like, I just want to do what you do, Mom. And then it's funny because my husband's a parts manager, and she's like, you sell to dad, like people like Dad. And I'm like, yeah. But she said it the opposite. Like I don't even know. Now I'm going on a tangent, but it's funny. It's cool. So I'm so glad I got to interview you. I think this event's been really fun. I get to meet people like you and interview them on the podcast, so that's always fun too. Is there anything you wanted to add? Like
not that I can think of. I think the event's been really great. A lot of the vendors have been really great. It's been nice to get to know colleagues and things like that from around the country. Now I've got a few business cards where when I've got questions on things I don't know, I can bounce it off of other people because I mean, we're really each other's best advocate. There are people who've been doing this a lot longer than me and who have seen a lot more things than I have. So being able to have those new connections is,
that's gold.
it's everything.
Yeah, it is. Thank you so much.